Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from watching Ad Astra, which is directed by James Gray and stars Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones, and Donald Sutherland. Now, when it comes to sci-fi space movies, there certainly are a lot of films that are in space that we definitely appreciate as all-time classics. 2001: A Space Odyssey, a more modern one would be Gravity, but Ad Astra definitely, while I don't think it reaches the same lofty heights, it certainly is a very effective personal story that takes place in a future that actually, I believe, could exist in a few years. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that in the not-too-distant future, there are these electrical power surges going throughout Earth that are threatening the lives and livelihoods of millions of people. So an astronaut, played by Brad Pitt, named Roy, has to go up into space and see if he can stop his father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, from doing this project that's apparently causing the surges. He has to go on an undercover mission to head to Mars initially in order to deliver a message for Tommy Lee Jones to inform him of the surges and tell him that he needs to stop. But eventually, when complications arise, he has to go to Neptune himself in order to save the entire world. Now, the story here hinges very closely on the father-son relationship between Roy and Clifford. Now, obviously, this wouldn't be able to work well with the stoic attitude and the very restrained attitudes that most would expect from an astronaut that are reflected well in this movie without some brilliant actors portraying these characters. And thankfully, Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones are well up to the task. Even when they have to remain stoic, and even when they have to, go through their jobs as calmly and rationally as possible, you can still sense the bond between the father and the son. You can still sense when things are getting too much for them, or things go beyond professional means for them. And you can understand why they're both going through their goals. Roy wants to see his father again. He also wants to see his significant others again. But beyond just saving the world, he personally just wants to see his dad after so long. And as far as Clifford's motivation, he wants to accomplish what the project was initially supposed to accomplish. To find alien life, to find life beyond Earth, which is an allure that a lot of people have wanted to know for quite a while. So the personal story is definitely there, and it does help that the film looks absolutely incredible. The space sequences look unbelievably beautiful, as the film happens to portray zero gravity, the lack of music and lack of sound, while you're on the moon or on Mars or even in one of the many space stations. And despite the fact that it takes place often on other planets and often in close and tight space stations, it still finds the time for some really gritty, really realistic action. Now, the action scenes in the film aren't exactly the blockbuster levels that you'd think they'd be. Unlike a lot of blockbuster action movies, there's no bombastic music, there's no glamorization of the body parts and the blood that's shed. It's all portrayed in a raw, realistic way. Well, I should say realistic as far as the sci-fi rules allow here, but it feels real. You feel it happening, is what I'm trying to say. And honestly, that's mainly because the sci-fi elements in the film do appear realistic. Sure, some of the bits obviously portray things that don't exist in our time, such as sci-fi looking tablets and futuristic looking phones, and even an antenna that stretches far into space, but all of it feels plausible given the universe that they're given. It doesn't feel like it's just there for the sake of looking cool. So in conclusion, Ad Astra is a wonderful space adventure, and if you don't mind the 2-hour runtime and if you don't mind a few slower moments, I can definitely tell you that it's a Brad Pitt space movie that you'll definitely love for a while. I give Ad Astra an 8 out of 10. See you next time.